All right, so I'm doing conflicting effects of parents and peers on academic performance. And my overall research question was, how are academic achievement, peer relation, and overall increased student performance influenced by parents and peers? Parents and peers affect both mentality and academic development of students. There's always complex and changing curriculums because, as time goes on, things are being required to be taught in school, and then it becomes harder for students because the expectations are rising, and they don't know how to be taught those things, and they don't have any outside sources or ways of learning these, so it's specifically while they're in school. And education is growing in life, and it's becoming more needed and necessary as you're getting older because in order to have a better financial position and job as you get older, you'll need the education requirements for it, which also will take a lot of support from both parents and peers and other outside forces. So parents play the biggest role in the development of students from whenever they start school to ending school. And they are the people that students will look towards and look for encouragement and support as they're going on. Parents can become more involved, like both in school and out of school. There's volunteer opportunities. They could do game nights and things outside of school. They can go out in the community and help, or they could even help their kid with their homework and show them how to do it instead of just relying on the school themselves for that specific 8 hours a day to teach their student everything they need to know. Because there's also weekends, breaks, and times out of school that they need to account for where the student's not learning anything if they won't put anything outside of school. And I know there's limitations with this. It's difficult for some parents because some parents live, a specific one-parent home. They have to work 2 jobs. They don't have the time for it. Others don't have financial necessities for it. They don't have the supplies, time, effort. It's different for every individual because some people just don't care for the school as much, and they don't believe that their input will help their child because they find that it's the teacher's responsibility to help and the teacher's responsibility to give their student all the information that they need. Whereas outside of school, the teacher can't really go around to every student, help them, teach them different things while they're outside. And I know it becomes difficult at times because, again, timing, parents have so much going on, but at the same time, students need to have more incorporation with their parents because their parents are their support. They're looking up to their parents for all of this. And that can ultimately lead to academic decline or academic success. Peers also have a larger effect on this. Students look around for their friends. They'll have classes with their friends. They'll try to do classes their friends are in, follow along with them. Because it becomes the thing where you want to follow, you want to be like your friends, you want to do what they do. But then sometimes that's not always the best because of the different environments that their friends have grown up in. And then I've coined that a domino effect because parents have an ultimate influence on the students. And then those students go around in school, they are around other students, and then they'll either positively or negatively influence the educational performance of those students around them. And it's just different because many students find their friends, they trust their friends more than their parents. As you get older, with the expectations rising and then the parents' relevancy and parent reliance goes down, they look to their friends more, and most of the time, depending on where their friends grew up and how their friends grew up, it's not always the greatest because they could have a negative influence, which could academically decline for both them and their friends. But at the same time, if they have a positive influence friend, someone who grew up wanting to succeed, wanting academic success and all of that, then they spend more time, working on things outside of school, working together with things like compromising and collaborating on different things. And it can bring up the performance academically. So it just depends on who you're around, what your parents have taught you, how you've grown up, and your overall drive to succeed. And from that, I came to my major conclusion that educational performance is very malleable from starting years, and as time goes on, they kind of take those things from elementary and middle school into high school and college with them, and they learn that that's the right way and the way they've been taught to go through education. Of course, it's different for everyone. And the big external factors, parents and peers, as I've mentioned, those are the go-tos, but then there's also teachers and other outside support, other family members, friends of friends. All of those people can also influence, but those are the major 2 that have a difference and impact on the student performances. And then as educational desire and as education is growing, again with the curriculum thing, it's becoming harder and more difficult for every student because some parents weren't taught the way that their students were, and some peers don't know what to do because they are in different classes, say under classes like standard classes compared to the honors ones here. So they don't know how to help, and then they find it to be overwhelming, and it becomes very difficult for them. And most of the times that'll lead to them dropping out of like the advanced classes, or they will back down from their full potential because they don't want to try something harder and incorporate themselves into it. And instead that they find it's more comfortable whenever they have somebody around them that can help them and show them what's right, even if they don't want to and they want to pursue something different or push for their passion and go farther and try the extra mile. It becomes difficult for all of them. And overall solutions and limitations. So there could be different student groups set up. Of course, that would not require, but like it would involve having students with the same academic drive and success and performance, clustered together in one specific group. But a setback for that is that sometimes it won't be with people you know, or you'll want to be in classes with your friends, and they'll be in different ones. And that'll cause academic decline as well because, again, you won't know anyone, anxiety will go up, it'll become overwhelming again. You just won't want to be part of it, and you'll want to go back to where your friends are. You'll want to see people you know all the time. Another thing is parents can include more things outside of school, like I had mentioned before, but same limitations: time, belief, financial status. It all has differences because with timing and everything growing and being way faster than it should be as it's completely going up, and it's just difficult for most people, and I get that for parents. And beliefs, many parents believe that they don't make any impact on their students' performance and they don't care, which leads to their student not caring, which is another reason why parents should be involved and more included so that they can show their student it's right and okay to care for your education because it's needed whenever you go further on in life. And then financial status is an issue in most places, and that can lead to different things, like they might not have the money to go out and do the activities or do game nights after school or do volunteering. They could do volunteer hours, but I mean, it's all becoming difficult. And then my ultimate conclusion, or solution, was school meetings with parents. So about once a semester, maybe more than once, schools and parents will have a meeting like at the school. They can discuss what's going to go on through the semester, how they can be involved and how they can help, and just overall bring the students or the parents in to help their students instead of relying on the parents to go out and do it, so they can show them like what's going on, how it's going to work, and like tell them ways that they can help. And sources.
What evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and why did you choose not to use it?
So I had an article about student mental health and school safety that I didn't use because I was going to bring in the mental health aspect of parent and peer influence, but I didn't end up getting enough information regarding that.
All right, Andrew, how does your conclusion respond to any of the other research or sources that you examined?
My conclusion that I used, I think most of it tied in with the developmental cognitive neuroscience source that I had, which was the stimulus material, because that ended up being like the base of my entire project and presentation. And it does show that parents and peers will influence academic performance, and they'll influence students' behavior and how they perform and how they think and act. Okay, ramble, perfect, go me.